wish that Call of Duty players saw me as a Call of Duty fanboy, but unfortunately, they don't. When I complain about Call of Duty, I am told that I am whining, overly negative, just a big complainer, essentially. And I plead guilty to most of that. But if they thought I was a fanboy, then they would know that all of my criticisms are coming from a place of love, and that would be ideal. Then it's like, yeah, Boom's complaining about a franchise he loves and wants to see do better. It would also be nice if people knew my channel. The problem is that I'm not very well known, and maybe that's my own fault, but that means people don't know me as the guy that switched to Rainbow Six Siege because he didn't like Call of Duty World War II, and also refused to buy the Call of Duty World War II Season Pass because just didn't like it very much. Same with Black Ops 4, didn't buy the pass, and it turned me into a Warframe player. And even though I really liked Modern Warfare 2019 and that game took over my channel throughout its life cycle, it's still a game that I heavily criticized and complained about and put out so many different videos about how the game could be better. And with Black Ops Cold War, almost all of my coverage of it has been heavily critical of Black Ops Cold War, and it turned me into somebody who would rather sit down and play Red Dead Online, and luckily I found a little audience through that. So COD World War II turned me into a Siege player, Black Ops 4 turned me into a Warframe player, Modern Warfare was very heavily criticized by me, Cold War was heavily criticized by me, but also Cold War turned me into a Red Dead Online player. So you see what I'm saying? It's frustrating when I make a video about Battlefield, when I'm a huge fan of the franchise, I just haven't been recently. When I was a kid, I illegally downloaded all of the previous Battlefield games that were leading up to the Bad Company series. So on my dad's computer, I played 1942 and the Desert Storm mod because my brother got me into it. And then, of course, Vietnam 2 and 2142. And then on my Xbox 360, I played the Bad Company games and Battlefield 1943. Then, after that, I went to GameStop and I grabbed this copy of Battlefield 3. And it turned me from somebody who liked the Battlefield games to somebody that loved them. And despite Battlefield 4's horrible launch and Battlefield Hardline being a little far removed from what I want from the series, and Battlefield 1 and 5 taking different directions that I'm not a big fan of, I'm still a fan of the series. And it sucks that Battlefield fans think I'm a COD fanboy, COD fans think I'm a COD hater, Halo fans think I'm out of my goddamn mind, and honest to God, that's sad to me because I'm not well known, and I'm making these big opinionated videos, these critical rants, and I'm writing down scripts and bouncing ideas off my friends. I spend a lot of my days thinking about video game opinions. I'm a fucking loser. And then when I share them, I'm immediately categorized as something I'm not. Like, you can disagree with the points I make in the video, you can even disagree with the facts I point out in a video, I guess, but what really will start to bother me is getting falsely categorized as something I'm absolutely not. When I look back on my history throughout Halo, COD, and Battlefield, I just see so much nuance that obviously nobody else gets to see from me. And maybe I should do more videos about my relationship with the games. Like, I liked Halo 4 a lot when it was new because the girl I liked was into it and I got good at Halo 4 to play with her and I have fond memories for that reason. But as I've gotten older, I actually don't enjoy Halo 4's gameplay loop anymore, and I'm much more a fan of Halo 3, Reach, and 2. And I suck at 2 way more than I suck at Halo CE, but I don't prefer Halo CE's multiplayer. I much prefer its story or private matching. I don't really like just going into Social Slayer and CE. I just always find it to be very awkward. And then with Battlefield 4, after its really rocky launch, I played it so much that I got burnt on it, and I really can't play it anymore because all of the novelty has been drained from that game. It's just visually imprinted in my mind. I'm the same way with the original Black Ops. It's my favorite Call of Duty game. It's the Call of Duty that got me into Call of Duty. But it's been imprinted in my mind. I've played it so much over the years that I don't really want to sit down and play it for any long period of time, just occasional nostalgia trips here and there. I enjoyed Battlefield Hardline, but only when goofing around with friends. I didn't really enjoy getting good at it. I really didn't enjoy the meta of the game, so it sort of fell off my plate. And then when it came to Battlefield 1 and 5, they're not bad games, they're just not what I want out of Battlefield, and their changes to gunplay and movement and map design just didn't mesh with me. I love Battlefield 5's movement, I love Battlefield 1's graphics, but I would rather play Battlefield 4 for its map design and its time period. The time period shifts do a lot to change up what you're able to play with. It impacted my experience, and all I did in the video that I got hyper-ratioed on was point out that that's partly due to the fact that DICE is very inconsistent. The Battlefield formula changes pretty extensively with each title, and I don't always consider it to be an evolution. Sometimes I find the changes to be jarring. In the video I got hyper-ratioed on, I just wanted to bring up that Call of Duty feels like Call of Duty even when it does massive changes. Essentially with COD, everything but the formula changes, whereas with Battlefield, it feels like the entire nature of how you play on a moment-to-moment basis changes heavily with each title, and then really the only thing that's consistent between them is the feeling of large-scale combat, vehicles and objectives and spawning on your friends and all that and whatnot. So basically the feel is there, but the moment-to-moment gunplay and gadget play and how classes work, it's massively different. And to prove my point, the class gameplay is pretty much gone in the new Battlefield. You can use whatever weapon on whatever class, and we have specialists, like it's Black Ops 3 all over again. Like the Rainbow Six Siege, Black Ops 3, Overwatch, hero, operator nonsense, I'm not a big fan of, and so seeing Battlefield 2042 make another big shift in the gameplay formula just proves my point that I don't know what I'm getting when I get excited for a Battlefield game. In my video where I talk about this, I refer to myself jokingly as a hypocrite because, yeah, I like innovation, I like when games feel new, I don't like it when Call of Duty feels the same every year, and I don't like it when games mimic themselves to death. I really don't. But there are core reasons COD players buy COD, Sims players buy Sims, Mortal Kombat players buy Mortal Kombat. Do you think Forza players would buy the new one if it didn't have cars in it? This is the problem with the Halo series, that Halo started to move away from the moment-to-moment gameplay that sucked people in with the older titles when it came to Halo 4 and 5, and to some people, even Halo Reach went too far in the wrong directions. Changing the moment-to-moment gameplay and feel of a franchise is risky. I don't think that's a hot take. It's also really weird to get ratioed when the larger point I made in the video is that EA kills off franchises, and how I'm going to end this video is with a discussion about Titanfall 2. Stand by for the only gameplay I have of Titanfall 2, and it's terrible because it's my first time ever playing it on PC, and it was the only match I was able to find. Titanfall 2 as a live service was killed by EA, but it's still worth a purchase today for its campaign, which I've never heard a really negative opinion about. It's a timeless, well-made campaign. And you might think, yeah, well that's Titanfall, that's not relevant to Battlefield. Well, not true. A big criticism I got on my video was that people were saying nobody plays campaigns and Battlefield doesn't make good campaigns. Okay, what about Titanfall 1? Titanfall 1 has an online-only, multiplayer integrated story. And you want to tell me that because Titanfall 1 had a horrible campaign, that Titanfall 2 shouldn't have tried? Because they did try, and they made a really good single-player FPS story that's replayable to this day. Sure, it's not a perfect campaign, but it's incredibly fun. The level designs are just some of the most imaginative that I've seen in an FPS game to date, especially in a non-single-player only shooter. Its quality is up there with games like Doom and Wolfenstein, but it also has a full-fledged multiplayer mode and tower defense mode, or PvE mode, alongside of it. Titanfall 2 is a great product, and that's great to hear. Apparently it's going through a bit of a hacking issue right now, but hopefully that gets resolved. The Titanfall series of games went from having the worst narrative experience out of any FPS game I played to having one of the best, and Battlefield could have done the same. I don't know why you wouldn't want DICE and EA to work on getting a good story paired with the game. I saw so many people getting excited that Irish from Battlefield 4 was going to be a playable specialist in 2042, and obviously many people were saddened to hear about Michael K. Williams' death. I know I was, because Irish was a great character. That's how I knew that actor.
What is your problem? You don't like having a woman in your squad?
I don't have a problem with women. I got a problem with liars!
A good narrative is timeless, and while Battlefield 4 doesn't have the best campaign in the world, I still thoroughly enjoyed playing through it, and I've played through it about 3 times since that game came out, because it's fun to revisit. Some of the missions are kind of a cool spectacle. Also, you get multiplayer unlocks by beating the game. Battlefield fans look back on the Bad Company campaigns with a lot of nostalgia, and people were excited to see Irish being in 2042. So you can save your only 10% of people even play campaigns bullshit because I don't care. That should encourage EA and DICE to make better stories, because even their more mediocre ones gave us characters that have a small place in our hearts, and I don't know why that's even remotely controversial. And if Titanfall can go from having the worst AAA narrative FPS experience in the genre to having one of the best in its next entry, I don't know why we can't assume the same from Battlefield. So yeah, I promise next time I get ratioed I won't make a big whiny video about it like this one, I'm sorry. If you guys could do me a favor though, then let me know you heard me out in this video, comment 2042 or bust with your comment so I know you made it to the end. I don't hate Battlefield, I want it to succeed, I want it to be better than it is, and I think launching without a campaign as a live service game peddling nostalgia as one of its main selling points, I just don't think that we should be getting super hyped for it. It's really weird how defensive Battlefield fans are when all you say is, maybe don't get unconditionally hyped. I mean, every year I make a video about why you shouldn't pre-order Call of Duty until they've shown a lot more gameplay. My idea is don't pre-order Call of Duty games until the night before they come out so Activision doesn't think they already have your money on lockdown. So it's frustrating when people miscategorize your point and miscategorize you, and there's not much I can do about it other than I guess I could just define myself every video and explain my position in every video I do until I'm a big enough YouTuber to have a billboard somewhere. But either way, I got ratio, took a fat L, that's fine. I just wanted to clear some things up and kind of vent my heart out a little bit. So yeah, this is a more traditional style boom video. Whining. Awesome. See you when I see you guys. Goodbye.